A satellite that will name and shame the worst methane emitters on Earth. What is it? What is the second naval base in Lakshadweep and why it matters? Also, what is the government consideration for Ladakh? Hello everyone, I am Srivastava and I'm here with the three must reads from the Indian Express today. Now, the first pick from the Indian Express today is directly from the explained page. And it's a small explainer, but every line, every word is full of information fodder, ready-made fodder for your exams. And I'm talking about this word means, and the word explained here is MethaneSAT, and the contribution done here is by Alind Chauhan. Okay, Alind Chauhan has explained MethaneSAT, and as I mentioned in the very beginning, that this is a satellite that will name and shame the worst methane emitters on Earth. तो सबसे पहले एक्सप्लेनर पढ़ने का तरीका ये होता है कि पहले आपको ये सोच लेना चाहिए कि इसमें क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस वी मस्ट थिंक अबाउट. फर्स्ट, व्हाट इज मीथेन सैट? Okay, then of course, why methane? All right, and thirdly, why methane sat is important. Okay, so all these four questions should be there in your mind, and then you see the explainer and see if these questions are answered. And if there's a bonus question answered, it's a bonus for your preparation. So the very first thing, what is MethaneSAT? Look at the introductory paragraph. MethaneSAT is a washing machine sized satellite that will track the measure methane emissions on a global scale. Was launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon rocket from California on Monday. So remember the size. It's a very small, not a very small, but it's still a washing machine based satellite. That is what it mentions. Now, just to know that who launched MethaneSAT, because sometimes in your question they might ask the whose initiative it is or who launched it, and will give you a popular name, and then you would think that that's a correct answer. But here, see, the entity behind MethaneSAT is the Environmental Defense Fund, which is EDF, which is a US based non-profit environmental advocacy. All right, so this is what is MethaneSAT and who is behind MethaneSAT. Now, the second thing which should come to your mind is why methane or why methane emissions, and why it is relevant and important to look at it. Look at these three paragraphs, and I must tell you, every sentence is an important pointer for your exam. Okay, so let's read it carefully. Methane is the most widespread greenhouse gas after carbon dioxide. Information number one. Its atmospheric concentration has more than doubled in the last couple of centuries. This increase is responsible for 30% of climate warming since the Industrial Revolution. This is information number two. Over a period of 20 years, methane is about 80 times more potent at warming than carbon dioxide. This is according to the UN Environment Program. Information number three. As we move to the second paragraph, it says that methane also contributes to the formation of ground level ozone exposure, to which could be contributing to 1 million premature deaths every year, according to a 2020 report. Information number four. It is crucial to cut the methane emissions from their main source. And what's the main source? Fossil fuel operations, which account for about 40% of all human-caused methane emissions. And this objective of MethaneSAT is to help achieve this goal. Information number five. So these three paragraphs, small paragraphs, gives you so much information. As I just counted, 5 important pointers. Now, the next logical question which follows is why MethaneSAT is important. So first of all, understand that tracking methane and methane sources is not a very easy task. It's a very big challenge. But MethaneSAT overcomes these challenges because, and as the explainer tells, that it uses or it's equipped with high resolution infrared sensor and a spectrometer, and can track differences in methane concentration as small as 3 parts per billion in the atmosphere. Okay, which enables it to pick up smaller emissions sources than the previous satellite. So therefore, MethaneSAT is so important. And MethaneSAT also has a wide camera, which it says that view about 200 kilometer by 200 kilometer, allowing it to identify larger so-called super emitters. Now, most of you must be thinking that I'm just reading it, because reading is a very important exercise. You should know what to read. आपकी नजर कहाँ जानी चाहिए, okay? कौन सा एक पैराग्राफ आपको इतने सारे पॉइंट्स दे देता है. This will also reduce your time when you know the trick of reading and explainer. Also remember that MethaneSAT is the data collected from MethaneSAT will be analyzed using cloud computing and AI technology developed by Google. Google is one of the partners, and cloud computing is an important word. So what is cloud computing? You should look at it. Everything and anything around AI should be looked a little bit about them for your general knowledge enrichment and exams. Now, so this is the first page full of information, so much fodder for the exams and your knowledge enrichment. Now, the second page is again from the explained page, and it talks about security. It's related to security issues, it's related to international relations, and also geography. Now, why Lakshadweep base INS Jatayu matters? This is the headline written by Amrita Nayak Datta. Now, first thing first is the map. Okay, atlas uthaiye, look at the location, and thankfully explainers also give you this mini micro map ka thoda view, and there just see the islands it mentions. Look at the north to south arrangement of them. Okay, and you will get to know that Maldives ke upar there's Minicoy, then Agati Island. Both these islands ke beech mein there is, in the mainland there is Kochi. Okay, and look at the location of Sri Lanka. So this kind of view should be there in your mind while you're reading a news around anything around international relations, geography, environment, okay, security issues, all these things. Now, why this news? Because of the first paragraph, which it mentions, and it says on Wednesday, Naval Detachment Minicoy will be commissioned as INS Jatayu, an upgraded naval base, marking an important milestone in the Indian Navy's resolve to incrementally augment security infrastructure at the strategic Lakshadweep Islands. Okay, now, जो सबसे पहले आपको क्वेश्चन आना चाहिए, जो कि एक बहुत जनरल क्वेश्चन है, बट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन इज दैट व्हाट इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ नेवल बेस इज लाइक, व्हाट इज अ naval detachment. Okay, so a naval detachment has administered logistic and medical facilities. INS Jatayu will be upgraded to a naval base with additional infrastructure such as an airfield, housing, and personnel after obtaining the requisite environmental and other clearances. This is a paragraph which is mentioned, tells you what is a naval detachment and what is a naval base when it is upgraded to a naval base. Now, this particular article is very important from various perspectives. First, of course, for the Navy operations, especially on the western coast or western seaboard, this naval base becomes very important. And whenever you're talking about Indian Ocean, remember the previous news on India Maldives, India Mauritius, the presence of China in the the Indian Ocean and areas, the South Asia. All these historical background, international relations background should click your mind immediately. So it is going to overall increase the naval capability of our country. That is one thing, and therefore this important line, teeth to navy operations. ठीक है, ये चीज आपको ध्यान में रखनी है, तो ये importance है. Then of course remember whenever we are talking about islands, okay, islands के साथ एक important चीज जो आपको ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए वो है environment, the ecology. Okay, the fragile ecology of the islands is one of the challenge. Okay, so whenever you're building such naval bases and constructing something there, these construction needs environmental clearances because ecology and environment are important for these islands. Then you should remember, and the fact is mentioned, that the Navy's first base on the island, that is INS Dweep Rakshak in Kavaratti, was commissioned in 2012. So you already have one of the Navy's first base there, and remember the name, try to locate it. So these are the informations. Remember what is the recent development in India's Mauritius relations, you can comment it in the box below. We have covered it in our previous top 3 news, and it is very much in the newspaper these days. India-Maldives relation, India-Mauritius, everything is important. It's a background to all these things. Now, the third important pick comes directly, well, not from the editorial or not from the front page, but the pages in middle are also very important. And it is the news regarding Ladakh. Government considers Article 371 like shield for Ladakh. Now, Deeptiman Tiwari has written about it here in the government and politics page. Now, look at the first 2 paragraphs, you get what is about. In the backdrop of protests across Ladakh, the center is mulling granting Article 371 like protection to the Union territory. Sources said during a meeting of the representatives of the region, Leh Apex Body and Kargil Democratic Alliance with Union Home Minister Shah on Monday, the minister told them that all their concerns about land, job and culture would be addressed through special provisions under Article 371 of the Constitution. Now, there's a small explainer which tells what is Article 371 and what is 6th schedule. So, Article 371 of the Constitution includes special provisions for 11 states, including 6 of the Northeast. So, you should know which 11 states we are talking about. The 6th schedule of the Constitution under Article 244, underline the article, has provisions for formation of autonomous administrative divisions with a state with certain legislative, judicial and administrative autonomy. So obviously you have to know what is Article 371, what is the 6th schedule. Also, look at the news that why such demands are being made, what is the reason behind such demands, and what is the government take on it, what is the government stand on it. ये सारी चीजों के बारे में आपको इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए. But this is just the news related to the headline. Sometimes when you're preparing for your exams or studying, you have to go beyond the headline. So when we are talking about Ladakh, again, you have to know about the geography, the environment of the place. Look at the cultural aspects. Look at the festivals, dances, and so on and so forth. Because these people are, asking for the cultural protection and so on and so forth. So culture, the geography, the environment of this particular area, especially the areas which have been in news, become very important. So that is something which you have to go beyond the headline, beyond the news, and look for yourself. That's all from me today. And I hope you're liking this series of 3 must-reads, the Indian Express. Now, you can also write to me, tell me your 3 must-reads, and you can tell me what you want more at manas.srivastava@indianexpress.com. See you tomorrow. Think smart, work hard, conquer your goal. Bye-bye.